Is there?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday, December 3rd Select Board meeting. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by Foxboro Cable Access. Okay, we'll start with the pledge. Sue, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have anybody here tonight for citizens input? No, anybody online, Kate? Yep. All right. Okay, we'll go right into our Foxboro Commission on Disability Awards tonight. Right. Girls, you want to come on up?
Okay.
Just tell everybody who you are at home so they know who you are.
Okay, yep. Okay, you do that. Can you go sit over that way? And Leanne, can you sit?
My name's Margaret Chason. I'm with the Foxboro Commission on Disability, and Sue Collins is our chair.
Right. Okay. So let me just start with that the goal of our Foxboro Commission on Disability is to advise and guide the town of Foxboro and the public regarding issues of accessibility in accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Our Commission on Disability has been giving out this award, Above and Beyond Award, to an individual and a business since 2015. And this is to acknowledge people who go above and beyond the customary standards to help people with disabilities. So this year's Above and Beyond Business Award goes to Papa Gino's, D'Angelo's on Route 1 in Foxborough, and the general manager is Leanne Gedre. I worked for many years in the special ed program in the Foxborough schools at the Ahern. And not too long ago, I went to Papa Gino's for lunch, and I was pleasantly surprised to see Ian, a student I worked with at the Ahern, taking my order. And I was impressed how professional he was, and then he cheerfully delivered the order to my table, and he continued to service other hungry customers by himself very efficiently. And later, I was able to speak to Leanne, and she told me that in the early days of Ian's employment, she spent the extra time with him explaining appropriate behavior and language for a business setting. But since then, he's been a model employee, right? So this is the kind of activity that this award is meant to recognize. People who are willing to invest a little time and effort, and that can be the difference between an employee being successful or not. We are very pleased to present this award to Leanne Gedre of Papa Gino's, and we are pleased to congratulate Ian on being a valued employee. So here's the plaque that hopefully you'll put in your store.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Do you wish to say anything? Sorry. Okay. Marvelous.
So this award is for an individual who goes above and beyond, and the recipient this year is Fiona Truss. She's an extremely impressive young woman, and to illustrate that, I'm going to read you the nomination letter we got about her. Fiona has been volunteering and working with neurodivergent students in Foxborough for 9 years. Before the start of 5th grade, she had little understanding of what it meant when someone was neurodivergent or on the spectrum. One day, a friend told her that she was going to eat lunch with the special education students. Not wanting to be left alone and being naturally curious, Fiona accompanied her. While she went in to eat lunch with a friend, she left with so much more. Observing teachers meeting the students' needs at all different levels, working tirelessly to help each student reach their next milestone, and overcome challenges in a world that often is not made for them, inspired her a desire to go back and start volunteering. Fiona would come home from school so excited to tell her parents about her visits to the special education classrooms. She found it very rewarding to help teach life and social skills. For example, folding laundry, utilizing an iPad for communication, and helping students participate in activities with the rest of the class. Some of her favorite moments were simply watching Elmo and doing puzzles with the students. The perseverance and positivity of both the teachers and the students motivated her to be the best version of herself. They helped Fiona discover her passion for special education and empowered her with the inspiration and confidence to pursue this passion. As a high school senior, Fiona was the co-president of Foxborough High School's Best Buddies program, where she dedicated her time within the school and community making matches between neurotypical students who were neurodivergent to create meaningful friendships that promoted inclusion. Every week, she helped coordinate Best Buddies luncheons, bringing the students together in an environment where they could learn from each other. Fiona and her fellow Best Buddies planned and organized school events, for example, a collaborative field trip to help their buddies shop for the holidays, and a school dance which was attended by neurodivergent students from Foxborough High School and 3 other neighboring districts. In June, at the Foxborough High School Awards Night, Fiona was the recipient of the 224 Best Buddies Massachusetts Certification of Community Excellence. Fiona has also volunteered to help students at the Special Olympics and at Unified Basketball Games, where she assists students with disabilities participate in team-based sports. Fiona's high school studies included 3 years of American Sign Language and Warrior Teammate in physical education, where she partnered with students from the special education classroom to work on sports and activity-based life skills and general motor skills. Last year, Fiona completed both a 12th grade elective and senior project assisting a special education teacher in an IGO elementary school classroom. Fiona holds 2 jobs where she enjoys working with neurodivergent individuals. For the last 3 summers, she has worked as an assistant teacher in Foxborough's extended school year education program, where she teaches life skill and social skills. For example, teaching students how to stock shelves so they can hold jobs, fold laundry so they can be more independent, utilize a voice output device for communication, and helping individuals participate in activities with the rest of the class to build social skills. Fiona was complimented by the lead teacher for the extended school year education program. In her first year, she worked with a young lady who used a voice output device to communicate. She had been in the school system for years and rarely said a single word, never mind a full sentence. Each day when Fiona went home, she used her computer to create activities designed to help make her letter sounds. By the time the summer program ended 5 weeks later, she was successfully talking in complete sentences. Fiona is also employed as an integration co-instructor at the Foxborough YMCA, where she teaches classes designed for neurodivergent individuals and also supports the individuals in mainstream classes. In these classes, she helps students develop their social skills, safety awareness, fine and gross motor skills, all while having fun. She gets truly excited to celebrate the highs and provide comfort during the lows, no matter how big or small. On her performance evaluation, she was recognized by her supervisor for having such a vast understanding and knowledge of how to meet the children's needs. It is impressive. Fiona graduated from Foxborough High School in June. In September, she began studying for her special education teaching degree at Bridgewater State University in an honors program. She selected Bridgewater so that she could complete a concentration in special education for children with severe disabilities, and also so that she would be close enough to Foxborough to continue supporting and working with the town's students. 4 weeks into college, Fiona joined the university's Best Buddies Club and became vice president of the university's American Sign Language Club, with the goal of promoting awareness and appreciation of ASL across the student body. Her parents say we could not be prouder of her daughter for her passion and commitment to inclusivity in her community. And we at the Foxborough Commission on Disability joined Fiona's parents in commending her for her efforts. Fiona's life path is an example of how inclusion of individuals with disabilities does not just benefit those individuals, but it also leads to opportunities and growth for people who interact with them. And we are very pleased to award Fiona Trust the 2024 Individual Above and Beyond Award.
Thank you.
And I believe Senator Feeney and a representative from Representative Barrows want to present something?
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. It's great to be with you. Representative Barrows could not be here tonight, but I do bring greetings from him as well, and some citations. 20 years ago, I was thinking on my way down here, 20 years ago, my wife and I moved into Foxborough. And every day since then, I've remarked on what an incredible, special community this really is. And I know it's not easy, especially for members of the board and others in town government. Sometimes when you get into the nitty-gritty of running a town, you forget. It's easy to kind of forget why it's such a special community until we have nights like tonight, where we have incredible people, Sue and Margaret on the commission, for the work that you do on a daily basis, but then to bring us tonight to be able to recognize some truly special people in Foxborough who do go above and beyond. I have some citations to give out, but I want to bring up Ian. Ian, do you want to come on up with us? Come on up, Ian. Ian, I'm very proud of you. I hear you're an incredible employee, right? The best? Better than your sibling? Right? Very proud of you and what you do. And as I said, 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to North Street. So I want to thank Papagino's for always being there for us too on a Friday night when we're starving. But why don't you help me give these citations out? Again, very proud of Papagino's and the work that you do, and understanding that, you know, when we talk about the way we treat folks with disabilities and in this town, recognizing the true value in every person and lifting them up and giving them a hand and being there, and you have truly done that. So, Leanne, if you want to come up, I'd like to present this to you. So this is from the Massachusetts State Senate. Being known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Papagino's and D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches, Foxborough, in recognition of receiving the Foxborough Commission on Disability Above and Beyond Business Award. It's signed by our Senate President, Karen E. Spilka, and authored by a very proud and grateful State Senator Paul R. Feeney, December 3rd. Thank you for all that you do, and best wishes for continued success.
Thank
you. And we also, Leanne, before you go, we have one, too, from Representative Jay Barrows. You notice the Senate goes first, so we want to do that. This is from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts House of Representatives. It's Papagino's D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches. It is signed by Speaker of the House Ronald Mariano and authored by F.J. Barrows, State Representative. Congratulations again.
you.
All right. That is, no, you can stay right up here with us, though. We recognize Fiona. Fiona, come on up. To hear that incredible testament to who you are as a human being, what you're doing, my God, we need more people like you in this world, especially these days. But for you to be able to chart a path and really say, this is what I want to do, and to be able to, you know, not only have that vision of what you want to do, but to be able to put it in action, especially at such a young age. We're really grateful for all that you do. So we have a citation for you as well, Fiona, from the Massachusetts Senate. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Fiona Truss in recognition of receiving the Foxborough Commission on Disability Above and Beyond Individual Award. Be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the clerk. It is signed again by our Senate President, Karen E. Spilka, and authored by a very proud and grateful State Senator, Paul R. Feeney. Congratulations, Fiona.
Thank you.
All right. And also, again, from the Massachusetts House of Representatives. This one is signed by Speaker of the House, Ronald Mariano, and authored by F.J. Barrows, State Representative. Thank you, Fiona, for all that you do. Congratulations. All right.
Okay, so as we came in the room, as I came in before the meeting started, when I saw Margaret and Sue, first thing I said to them is, this is always one of my favorite meetings. You know, I've said it a number of times. I have a son with autism, And so when I hear these stories, it, pulls at my heartstrings a little bit. First to Leanne, I want to say thank you so much. My son is not as high functioning as Ian is, but there's always a job and people out there. He goes to a farm and he helps sort bottles for recycling. And that's what he's capable of doing, but there's always, I commend you for Papagenos bringing Ian in, working. There's always a way to get them to have employment. It might be just a little extra time, a little more explaining, customers being a little more considerate if need be. And so thank you very much. As a parent of an autistic child, thank you for Papagenos to being there for the disabled community. Fiona, okay, listen, darling. I will tell you, listening to your accomplishments and what you've done, it brings me back listening partly to my own daughter. She did a lot of the things you were doing, she did through her high school career. She decided that she was going to learn how, sign language, and because her brother could not speak. So you went above and beyond. Now, that led her because she lived, her sibling was autistic. For you to pick up, just going in to have lunch and picking up, I will tell you, it shows compassion, it shows kindness, and I would love to hear down the road where your college career brings you, because it's a challenging but rewarding profession. And so I commend you for what you've done so far, and I can't even imagine where you're going to go from there. So congratulations, well-earned award, for sure. Anybody else want to, I know I probably chimed it all out, but does anybody else want to say anything in particular?
I just admire the work of the commission that you do, and I remember last year it was the same thing, just honoring people that do well in the community and uplift the community. And I really admire and respect the work that you've been doing. I really applaud it. And thank you for being who you are and what you do, both of you, because obviously people are noticing. You think you're doing your thing and people don't notice, but clearly when you hear a letter like that, somebody really took a lot of time to put that pen to paper. When you hear a letter like that, people notice when you do well, and you respect people, and you care for people, and you help them in any way you can. So just thank you.
Sure. Katie, did you want to get a picture?
Yeah, we can do a group at the front.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. Paul, will you come up with us? We get a little group picture. Oh, Katie, do you want us to stand back here and they'll stand in front of us? Okay. Katie will put you guys how
You guys gotta get
how she
close.
wants you. That's good.
All right, let's see.
We just slide to an open spot.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Move over to the end.
Yeah. There we go. There you go.
There you go. All right, everyone smile. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, Doc's flight is delayed, he's not going to make it. So just as we thought.
Doc, what? This flight is delayed.
I was happy to
was
be
nice.
hiding in the back. Gosh, I almost cried. That was
my gosh,
Steph,
Shannon,
you like,
I know, so, sorry, that little break is not here. Everyone logged out. Okay. This is like always one of my favorite, it truly is one of my favorite meetings.
Yeah, this one
Just
grabbed me.
Incredible
I
stories,
think last year
for
we were
sure.
surprised, so it was a little like off guard. This year, that listening,
Yeah.
it was like very touching.
Exactly. Okay, next up, we have, okay. Yes. For a common vic, is this do we have to be on time for this one? Do we have to do a time, is there a
public
time
hearing.
constraint for this? Okay. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm guessing because everybody left.
Yeah.
Yep,
Just us.
you two are up.
We've been waiting for you.
Exactly.
Scram.
Yeah, we've had some setbacks, but we're close.
Everybody's excited.
Exactly. Okay, so tell us who you are. Tell us why you're here and.
Yeah, so my name is Nick Casares. I'm one of the owners of Scram Kitchen and Coffee, hopefully, soon. We're here for a common victualler license. This is my partner, Spiro.
Hi.
Between both of us, we have over 50 years of restaurant experience. We've been doing this since, our early 20s. So we look forward to opening and incorporating ourselves with the community and being part of the community. So.
Okay, great. And board have some, anybody have some questions?
I do. Just have, what kind of menu is it going to have?
Yeah,
Scram, I'm
so-
assuming
It's fast casual.
breakfast?
Breakfast, lunch.
Oh, breakfast, lunch.
Sandwiches,
Soup?
possibly soup. Yeah, we may have some seasonal soups, yeah. But our focus will be on, thus the Scram, breakfast sandwiches, breakfast burritos, breakfast bowls. But we'll have some other items, acai, overnight oats, yogurt parfaits, along with an array of drinks, a lot of drinks, coffees, refreshers, green teas, all that stuff. So
Is there sit-in?
we had a menu and I forgot to bring it. I can forward it to somebody
Is
tomorrow.
there sit-in as
There
well?
are seats, yeah. So the restaurant itself, we just did some cosmetic work to it. So everything's still the same. It's still the same number of seats. The counter's still in the same area. All we really did was, optics and some new equipment.
Yeah, so at home, you go in where Primo's was.
Exactly,
so-
yes, the old
Yeah, the
Primo's, yeah.
base was there for you.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Yep.
perfect. Great. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so you're actually going to, do you think will be open till 5? Or is
Yeah, I mean,
or is the
really-
license just saying for that?
No, I mean, we'd
but-
like to be. It really depends on how business goes,
Yeah.
If there's enough business to allow that to happen, then
Yeah.
yeah. But if we have to cut back an hour or two, we'd
Mm-hmm.
definitely like to be open till at least 3,
Yeah,
hopefully.
exactly.
So,
Okay, great. Well, I think, no offense to any of the breakfast spots in town, but it's just nice to have,
yeah.
have a change, and
Yeah.
even, everyone's in such a rush, so, I mean, it's nice
Well,
to go in and eat, but
yeah.
it's nice to go in and grab a breakfast sandwich and be able to head to work or wherever you're heading
Well,
off
we're trying to fill a void. For me, we've done this in the past, and we did well with the chain. We got hurt with COVID, but there's a void. I feel like there's a void for breakfast. You either are going to these fast chains that, either you're eating eggs or is it something else, or you're going to a diner and you have to, devote an hour and a half of your time. So we want to give high quality, fresh ingredients. So all made to order, obviously.
Is this the first time you guys have hit this, like the breakfast and sandwiches?
Yes, yeah, we had a burger chain. We had gotten it to about 5 or 6 locations.
Yep.
Primarily focused towards college students in Boston mostly. And then once COVID hit,
Yeah.
it crushed us, so.
Yeah. Well, so I've been a server for 35 years, so, the business is the business.
Yeah.
It's, it's, you bring the right product in,
Yeah.
and so the rest of it will just
Right, absolutely.
say,
Hopefully.
yeah. Well, and I will tell you that this community is good to our local businesses, and we
I've seen that with Allie's Cookies next door. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We-
And my
we
sister
try
lives in
to
Foxborough.
shop local as much as we can, so,
Yeah.
like, if the product is good, this community
Yeah,
will.
absolutely, yeah.
You'll be successful here.
Yeah, thank you, yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
And feel free to join the Foxborough Common Business Collaborative, meets once a month.
Okay,
I think Lydia is your landlord, right?
Yes.
She has the contact information, or you can ask us, Katie or
Absolutely.
me. I think the next meeting is next Wednesday morning. It's
Okay.
usually at 8 a.m. on Zoom. So it's just a good way to get to know the other small businesses in town, and
yeah,
it's good networking. So.
great, yeah. Maybe I'll reach out to Katie, yeah, or Lydia. Yeah. Perfect.
Don't you get anything?
I'd like to see the menu.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll forward it, yeah.
I like to go out for breakfast, so I'd like
Absolutely.
to see the menu.
Yep.
Maybe we'll have a breakfast meeting and order sandwiches one time. Could we do that? I don't know, but, so, okay. Anything else? Bill, you got anything? Right, Deb, you want to make it? Yeah.
Motion to approve a new common victicular license for Scram Kitchen, Inc., DBA Scram Kitchen and Coffee, located at 6 Mechanic Street.
Second.
Okay, under discussion? Welcome.
All right, thank you very much.
Good luck,
Thank
success.
you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, great,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Good luck.
All right. Okay. Paige, are you taking this one?
Yes.
On the land?
Yes, so this is after a town meeting vote, where a town meeting did vote to authorize the select board to dispose of the land at the rear of 34 School Street. I'm seeking a motion to have the board issue an invitation to bid on this property, and then we'll go through procurement and put it out for bid.
Okay.
Any question? I mean, I think we all know, we've all talked about it. It's a small parcel behind Judy's Florist, and the town really doesn't have an interest in it, so put it out and see what the market bears for that.
Just curious, since town meeting, has anybody approached anybody,
No.
just out of curiosity?
No, but we had, prior to town meeting, did have one interested party, so I think there will be some interest.
All right, great.
Motion to declare the assessors map 79, parcel 16.1, 1,957 plus or minus square feet, property located at the rear of 34 School Street, available for disposition, and to issue an IFB for the said property to be sold to the highest bidder without conditions.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so since we're circling back around, we had a couple of proposals in front of us to name some ball fields after some individuals, and after a lot of the discussion we had, we felt that the policy that the board had needed to be cleaned up a little bit, so that's bringing us into discussion of us putting together a policy that has a little more teeth to it for us, so.
And
we can-
criteria.
And then also people coming before us will be able to also see that policy and make sure that when they're coming before that, any of the individuals that there are groups that they're thinking about naming meet the criteria before it even gets to us.
So on this, I mean, it's a lot, and I acknowledge that, and then that's why this is the first draft. I'm not seeking a vote tonight. I kind of wanted to throw out a few ideas, and, one you'll notice in there, it talks about a petition. There were a couple communities that had folks actually submit petitions, 75 voters, 25 voters. I'm not sure we need to go that route. It could just be a matter of submitting a letter, but I put both options in there because I wanted to hear feedback. And then I threw some criteria in there. I did go through and I looked at a bunch of other communities' policies and sort of, you take the best of all, and that's what I have here. There's also a draft form. Again, that's petition. If you don't want to go the petition route, which I'm not sure, I think that's probably overkill, but I wanted to let folks know that that is an option. We'd probably just take that out and just make it more of an application form. But I guess I'm looking for feedback as to whether the criteria looks good, whether you want such a formal process, if this is overkill, and sort of get some feedback so I could take it back for the next round.
It was a lot.
I know.
A lot from what we went to what we're going to.
Yes. And again, I'm not saying that this is the way we need to go. There was just, believe it or not, there were a lot of policies out there and a lot of very detailed policies. So it's clear this has been a controversy or something of importance in other communities. So I kind of threw everything in, and we can absolutely scale back. I'm not saying we need to go this way, but I do think the criteria would be helpful. And I also think it is helpful to set the stage of, the purpose and the scope, because then it gives you all and the future boards the guidance of, making the decision in the future.
Yeah. And it's not that we want it to be overkill, but it's a pretty important thing that we take a piece of property. And I know there was some talk about, you bring it to town meeting, and let the people decide. But the problem is, this is how our government works, but, anything that comes forward, you get the right people to come in and vote for or against something, determines it. And so, there's no power push on this board, because we're going to be here for short periods of time. So I think if the Board of Selectmen were to take it over, and this, Bill knew, and Bill had brought forward what the schools do on their side, and that was a pretty good policy. I'll let you, what are your thoughts?
No, I would tend, I don't know, and I'm sure you found that in one of the other towns, the nomination type thing with a letter with, that's actually an interesting concept, I think, especially if you have to get at least, 75 or 100 people to sign off on it. Now, I grant you can go stand in front of a corner and probably get 100 people to sign off no matter what, but at least shows that there's a backing for it. But I do like the criteria side of this, where you really have, you're really going to consider a lot of different things for the individual. I agree with Steph that this is, naming any piece of property or any asset of the town should really not be taken lightly. I think of things like the Sam Burns thing at the high school, and, that was a unanimous decision by pretty much everybody because of the individual. And I can think of a lot of, Steve Massey as far as the music side, pretty much. So when you look at things like that, and even our policy as far as naming streets going forward, it's for people who've done significant things for this community. And it's just a recognition that, will survive them. So I think we can go either way as far as the criteria letter or not, but I think having a good standard of criteria that we're going to look at is important, so.
Dennis?
No, I think it's very well done, very thorough. And I think given our near-term experience, where you can see how this can get out of hand a little bit if you don't have a structure and a process to deal with these things, they are going to come forward. And this addresses that this is really an honor for someone. And it really establishes a benchmark, in terms of the criteria for receiving such an honor from the town. And I think we're the appropriate party to be the arbiter of who gets this recognition after a process. So, you look at a policy like this, is it too long, is it too short? I always look at policies, and it's not that everything is in here. Usually what, the problem with the policy is something's missing, rather than is everything here, but I don't see anything missing. I think you've really covered the landscape, and it'll be good to have a policy like this in place, and I'm sure it'll be modified with experience as we go along. So I think it's really good work.
How do we feel as a committee as far as whether or not the petition side versus just somebody writing a letter for it to come forward?
Somebody or some entity?
Well, anybody, basically, it's pretty much somebody, anybody could do it.
Right.
So you could write a letter saying that you want, Jane Smith to be, named after, or the property to be named after.
Right.
So is that sufficient? Because pretty much you could get that from anybody coming forward, I guess. You'd still have to go through the whole criteria to say, okay, how does it meet,
Yeah, and
standards
still
as far as-
go
Right.
before this board. I get what you're saying, for me to look at a list of names on a petition, I don't know if the people really know what they're signing for. I mean, we see people stand in front of the grocery stores, and they're just asking you to sign for something. I'm not saying this is what somebody would do for us, but I don't, for me, the petition is not going to matter, although I understand what you're saying. It's another layer to
Little
make
bit more
sure
effort.
that people know, that it's going on. I mean, I wouldn't have known, the last one that came before us, I wouldn't have known anything about it until it came before us. So if they have to reach out and get a number of signatures, I'm not saying that would have me lean one way or the other, but I guess it does give one more layer of maybe people and maybe, and something, listen, and I don't say this, I'm not criticizing the Recreation Board at all, because they just follow their policy. But, when Heather said, well, we put it up and on our website, and if anybody had any questions, whatever, like none of us knew. You might have known because you probably follow rec a little bit more, but, and that's, like I said, I'm not criticizing them. That was what they did what their policy said. But I don't know if anybody, I mean, if you asked 100 people, I would say maybe, in town randomly, if one or two would say, oh, I happened to see that. So I think bringing it here cleans that part of it up. I know, I don't usually sit on the fence. I could go either way. How the rest of the board might feel on the petition or not petition.
I would go with the petition because I would hope it would be 25 of the most vested people in that request. I'm not standing outside Stop and Shop and asking, you can get 25 signatures turning around in town
Yeah.
hall.
Yeah.
So I would hope that it would be the 25 most vested people.
And then you'd hope they'd come to the public hearing, or at least a
Yes.
handful of them,
We
to
hope
sort
that
of
it
represent.
continues, yes.
that.
And I do like the fact that what you have in there, as far as after the public hearing on the public property naming request concluded, the select board may deliberate and vote on the request during the subsequent meeting, which really, to me, that's the way it should be done. You should kind of come in front of us, have some time to digest it, have some time to make sure it did meet all the criteria, and then vote on it in the next meeting. And so I like that particular.
Do you think after that, it just popped in my head, do you think I should add a comma and say, taking into account any input received since the hearing? Because I would hate that, like in planning, once you close the hearing, you can't take any more input. I would like to imply that once you're in the community, you assume people are going to, oh, I hadn't heard about that. I heard the public hearing, and then they're going to give your, so I would think, this isn't a formal public hearing, so you could set it up any way you want. I would think taking the input you've received in that interim period would also help inform your decision. So maybe I could add something to that to make it clear that you have the right to consider it after the close of the hearing.
Yeah. Well, something, that came before us, and, for me, I reached out to some people that I knew in baseball or softball, just to try to get information to make a decision. And that's not, it wasn't really even fair to the process, because the information I was getting, I don't know if it's true, not true, I think it just needs to be investigated a little bit more, and then whoever is sitting on this board when that comes through can make a good decision. Like I said, there's no criticism to how that came. That's how the policy was, and and I didn't really, I even said, I signed off on that policy. I was on the board when that policy, when we adopted it, and it just didn't, I guess until something came before us, did I think that maybe we should have given it more thought. So I'll take some of the blame for that. We sat here and signed off on a policy and not really thinking it all through,
Well, again, I think too, you had the opportunity, as we discussed, that you think things, and what was mentioned, I mean, you never want to change the name if you can help it. So to that point is you're really almost choosing in perpetuity. And that's where, and there are limited assets. So at some point in the future, the town might run out of the opportunity and you'll have someone so special. So that's why I think this board needs to be very comfortable that you're making a decision not just for today, but for 100 years from now. Obviously, the board has the right to rename, but you're not going to take that lightly. You know, you're not going to remove someone's name without strong consideration.
Yeah.
So further consideration and conversation?
Yeah, I can, I'll stick with the 25 voters, and I'll tweak it a little bit with to clarify that you can get input after the hearing, because I think that's when the people are going to really notice it, and tighten it up, and then we could try to get it on a future agenda for a vote. And if anybody has any feedback in the interim, please let me
Yeah.
know.
Paige, thank you, this was great.
Thank you.
Okay, town managers
Me
update.
again? Okay. Okay, so today I was joking earlier that today is the veterans update, because Michelle and Lauren are so busy in the veteran side of things. They wanted me to let everybody know that veterans and their families are eligible for free winter coats. The Veterans Office has them available, so please, if anybody needs a winter coat and is, related to or a veteran, please contact Michelle or Lauren. I don't know if you noticed walking into Town Hall, but there's now a flag deposit box for used flags right in the vestibule of Town Hall. So that's a wonderful addition to town. So anybody in town wants to drop off their used flags, they'll be properly disposed of. And that vestibule is open during Town Hall hours, so please come during then. With respect to the banners, I think we've already all noticed that they're all up, and including around Town Hall, which was an interesting oops, but actually a really nice addition, and Mr. Butler did a fabulous job laying them out, and I think it really frames the parking lot beautifully. I did ask Michelle just for clarification. So these banners are going to be up until around Memorial Day, and at that time, the Founder's Day banners will go up. And then they anticipate opening up the next cycle after that, and then with the next cycle going up around next Veterans Day-ish. So she said things do change, but the Jaycees are not going to be doing Christmas banners, so it's really, at this point, may alternate between Founder's Day and Veterans, and stay tuned for more details. But the first round was such a success that they do hope to do another round. Let's see. The Purple Heart signs, they're replacing Purple Heart signs here in town after Thanksgiving. The old ones were very worn, so they've purchased 6 signs, and they're going to go on all the access points into town, and some didn't even have signs, so they'll be doing 6 of them. So that's a great initiative. They wanted me to let you know that coming soon will be Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day, and that'll be an event that's in coordination with the Norfolk County Sheriff, and they're going to visit every veteran in one weekend. Quincy and Braintree have done that, and then they're looking at September to do it. The sheriff will also come out and speak to during a coffee hour after the holidays, so very active right now. And finally, they're planning an evening for all the town's Blue Star families, and Blue Star families are those families with members currently serving in the military, and Michelle and Lauren and the committee want to connect with them now so that they're aware of, who's serving now, and then also that those serving and their families are aware of what the Veterans Service Office offers. So very proactive and really great for the community. So hats off to Michelle and Lauren. I was at Light Up Town, and they were working their table, on Central Street, just doing really great work trying to reach out to the veterans. So it's been a great addition to the town. Walnut Knoll is the name of the project up on Walnut Street, the soon-to-be 200 units of all affordable senior housing. There is going to be an information session on that housing held by the developers at the Council on Aging on January 29th at 2 p.m. So I know a lot of people have questions about what, the lottery and whatnot. So the actual folks building it will be at the community center, the soon-to-be community center at the old Council on Aging on January 29th at 2 p.m. Right now, the schedule is September 2025 opening of the first building with a December 2025 for the second building. So, and that's phase 1. I think that adds up to 141 units. I don't know if you all know, I know it was a soft rollout, but DPW is offering now a program called See, Click, Fix. So if you see something, it's an app on your phone that you can download, and basically if you see a problem to report to DPW, you see it, you click on it, and you report it. And the great thing is that it used to be that when there was a concern at DPW, you'd call DPW, they'd write it on a slip of paper. 99% of the time, they took care of it, but a slip of paper can get lost. Now there's a log, and it's much better. And again, you can do it right on your phone if you see something, so if any, watch out now, but they did a soft rollout. It's working well so far, but it's a great addition for the
I have
residents.
this vision of like Chris's phone just going beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep. So
Hopefully he turned that off. But no, it's just another way to sort of,
Definitely
we
more
want to reach
efficient.
out to the residents
Definitely.
and give them an opportunity to provide feedback, and this is a way, and it is trackable, and so that's great. Community center update, I believe, Bill, we talked about May 1st-ish we're shooting for. Again, it has to do with putting the sewer in. The sewer has been designed. We're going out to bid for that, and, we have winter coming, but the hope is we could start digging over assuming we don't get snow like we haven't, but they're saying this year could be worse. Nobody knows. But I think we kind of had a meeting and all agreed that May seems like a safe bet, and so stay tuned for that. Moose the dog, his owner has appealed the decision to require euthanization. That was done at the district court, so I believe at this point it's out of our hands, but stay tuned for that. I have a lot. The first newsletter that was put out by Maura on the communication side was read by over 1,500 people, and she's hoping for a big increase for the next round. The next edition is going to drop on Friday, so stay tuned for our next newsletter. It is available on the website, the front page of the website, but you can also register, and then it'll show up in your mailbox. World Cup planning is in full swing. In fact, we're going to be having a department head meeting on it after the holidays to start preparing. We met with the craft group about it today. As you know, we have Post Malone and Jelly Roll coming May 31st. We were informed in advance. We do have a Navy versus Notre Dame game. We were informed on that. The only reason I bring that up is it is on a Saturday, October 31st. So I know in the past there was a 2026. There was a Patriots game on Halloween, and I know that Foxborough had to reschedule Halloween. I just wanted to warn you all that that date, dropped, and, I know public safety mentioned that concern. It seems far off now. It's going to be a couple months after World Cup. I'll let you all stew on that one, but it is going to be obviously a challenge for the community. I had heard that, when you postponed it, people had to leave town to go trick-or-treating, and then everybody in nearby came to town for the alternate date. So, but just to be aware that that's coming. AC/DC concert, May 4th, and then today, I believe, who was it? Kendrick Lamar was announced for May 12th. So that's 3 concerts right now in May. So they're busy over there.
What's the time for that Notre Dame?
I think it's
game?
3, I'm guessing here, I feel like it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But so it'll be letting out at Halloween time.
Yeah,
At
exactly. I was
trick-or-treat.
in my head, I was wondering, I'm like, the college games, they start at 10, 11, 12,
Yeah.
games start
I have to
in the morning.
verify, but I feel like I looked it up.
Yeah, that's going to be premier game. I would have guessed that's, they're going to
Prime
make,
time.
it was probably going to be late afternoon or early evening,
Yeah.
so, okay.
So it's tough. I mean, as a community, it's a bummer. That said, I know that, I'm assuming the crafts had to bid on this, and I'm sure there's many communities bidding for it, so I doubt they had their choice. But it will pose, when a time comes, and I think there will be a lot of families kind of frustrated by it, so
Yeah.
it's not great. I just wanted to bring that up.
Exactly, yeah.
The departmental budget process has begun. In fact, department budgets are due by next Wednesday, so it was a quick turnaround. There's a calendar that's been published for both AdCom meetings and the entire process. I can make sure that gets up on the web if it isn't already. Can you remind me of that one? Thank you. We still have open seats on the Norfolk County Advisory Board, and I believe we do have an applicant for that, and then GATRA Advisory Board. So those are interest. One, I won't read all this, but a Permit Extension Act was issued by the state when they signed the Economic Development Bill. So basically what it's done is extended all real estate permits by 2 years automatically. We had that back in COVID, and basically any approval in effect or in existence during the tolling period of January 21st, 2023 to January 1st, 2025 shall be extended for a period of 2 years. So that's just a blanket. It does not cover 40Bs, and it does not cover certain approvals under hazardous waste and 21Es, but it does cover it. And in fact, even if a permit has since expired, if it fell within that tolling period, it's now extended. So it was a very liberal offering of an extension act. It came out of kind of nowhere to me, but I'm not really doing planning as much, so maybe it had been talked about, but it was something I'm not sure frustratingly yet, they have not yet extended the remote meeting provision, so we're hoping they get that done. That expires in May. So, most communities have benefited greatly from having the flexibility of remote participation, and that will expire in March. Sorry if I said May, in March if it's not extended. But there's a heavy lobby, and hopefully that does extend. I'm glad to send the whole verbiage
Is the
on.
permit thing, is that kind of like the state trying to just make sure the housing starts,
I'm not sure it's under the Economic Development Bill, so I'm assuming it's housing, it's economic development. I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably in light of all the costs and things were delayed, but it caught me off guard. Now, again, I don't have my ear to the ground like I used to, but yeah, I wasn't aware that there were that many permits that were lapsing. And it was a little different in COVID time than it is now, but it's probably just a business-friendly opportunity. I have construction updates, but before I move on to this one, I also wanted to bring up a strategic plan. In my goals, we did talk about starting that conversation, and so I just wanted to raise it. I also wanted to say, I've started to do some research into sort of the process. I feel like with the master plan beginning now, perhaps it's not, we might not want to have concurrent big plans going on. That said, I also think we could build off of the outreach of the master plan. So I didn't know if you all had ideas of strategic planning. Do you think we should try to get some done in-house? I could always put it try to see if we can get it in the capital budget, to start working on something next year to get some professional help. I think that's always a good idea. I know the police department did use that. Most communities do get outside help. I think Sharon did do it internally. So I don't think we're ready to jump into it fully, but I don't want to miss out on whatever momentum is built through the master plan and not be ready. So perhaps we're ready, late summer, or fall, or into the next year, we might want to kick something off. So I kind of raised that. I don't need an answer now, but if you want to give it some thought of kind of where we want to go and how we want to, do we want a committee? How you want to populate that. Do we want to start the committee now and start having them develop the plan, how to attack the plan, or do we want to initiate it here and then bring them on later? So I have a lot of questions tonight, but and I don't expect answers, but I just wanted to raise that, and if you could give some strategic planning a thought, it is something we should work towards.
I think, quite honestly, the development of a strategic plan is helpful if you do have an outside consultant working with a committee, just because you get some structure that way, and potentially, obviously, if you hire the right consultant, somebody who's familiar with the whole process, where a lot of people on the committee would not be. I don't see this as a one-person issue, obviously. It's a much larger, so.
Thank you.
I think, quite honestly, it is something, though, to probably not wait too long to start, because it does take quite a while.
Yes.
So I think maybe if we were to assemble a committee and try to figure out who we're going to use as a consultant, start working on that now. Mm-hmm. And then as you get that built, then you can just keep moving forward.
Right, okay.
I've done a lot of strategic plans, and you really need an outside expert to really, and a very effective working committee to really, be shepherded by the outside consultant. A lot of times the master plan grows from the strategic plan. It's not the other way around. So that's the other thing. So, but, having somebody that's really, particularly somebody that does, cities and towns, I think. Obviously, it's an obvious point, but I think you're going to need it outside, we're going to need outside help to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I was a little surprised when I saw that Sharon did it in-house. I was like, oh, Lord, that's a lot of work. So, okay, I will start to sort of poke around and see, I think maybe putting it in the capital plan and, for July 1, see if it makes it through. That might segue nicely, but maybe we could work on the committee sooner, because we're going to have an idea of the budget before we go out to procurement, so we can't necessarily get our consultant before we know where our budget is, and we have to budget for that, so. But certainly, I think, if townspeople are watching, start talking to the select board, who's interested, and then, you all maybe give some thought as to the makeup, and I could certainly look into how other communities, has been the most effective makeup. Is it more residents that are sort of at large? Is it, a lot of same old with the town committees? I mean, we end up oftentimes with same players, so it might be nice to introduce some newer players in addition, so, but we'll start taking that to the next step and keep that conversation going. Human Resources, we have a department administrator position open in the building department. That's due to a lateral transfer. We have an assistant director of public works, town engineer. As you may or may not know, Lance Del Priore has been hired as the assistant town manager in Hopkinton. He actually wrote me a note. He wrote, if possible, I would ask that you please convey a thank you to the select board and to Foxborough residents for me. I would do so in person tonight, but my presence is required at the Hopkinton Select Board meeting. I just want to say thank you to the Select Board and the residents of Foxborough for making these past 5 years of service to the community a positive and memorable experience. I have no doubt that thanks to the effort of town staff and its many resident volunteers, Foxborough will continue to be a strong, resilient community for many years to come. Thanks to everyone for allowing me to be part of these efforts, and please consider me a friend and resource in the future. So we wish Lance well. We hate to see him go, but Chris always said if you got 5, when he kind of poached him from Sharon, he said, if I can get 5 years out of him, I'll be happy. And I believe his 5-year anniversary is like this month. So he got 5 years. And we hate to see him go, but he really is moving up in the world. There's a position for the building custodian for Council on Aging and Human Services. And then our 3 usual DPW equipment mechanic, DPW labor driver, and a technician 1. I mentioned during the financial summit, we are working with a vendor to look at obtaining additional quotes on insurance policies. Again, not sure it'll go anywhere, but since we haven't gone out to bid and looked at anything since 2010, we are at least exploring that option. We are having a little trouble getting some information to provide to them, but Katie is working on that. For construction updates, all sidewalk and roadway reconstruction projects have been completed in preparation for the winter season. Centennial Street water main replacement was slowed by the discovery of excessive ledge, so now the date is mid to late December. South Street water main, the South Street traffic may occasionally be slowed as PJ Hayes works to make the final connection of the raw water transmission main over 495. Walnut Street intersection, the I-95 south off-ramp into Foxborough has been reopened and a realignment is complete. The stop signs have been temporarily placed at the end of the ramp. Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Until the signals are installed. And then DPW garage expansion, the foundation work for the new structure continues. Footings have been poured and installation of site infrastructure such as drainage is ongoing. So, and that is my update for today.
Okay.
Good.
All right, on to Selectmen's update. Okay, I just want to, and I hope I'm not overstepping Paige, I just want to acknowledge that Paige lost a member of her family, her brother, a couple of weeks ago, and everybody knows that, right? Afterwards, I thought to myself, especially as the chair, I should have just let the board know. Unfortunately, I was in the middle of losing my dad, so Paige and I, had 2 losses like back to back, and I just wanted to publicly say, thank you for, I'm like you are, I'm better to work through something, and stay busy. You didn't miss a beat, and, thank you for your commitment to the town. And I just, from the board, wanted to, for me, my dad was 90 years old. He lived a very long life, but to lose a sibling at a young age, I just wanted to convey condolences of this board and I'm sure from people in the community.
Thank you.
So I hope that's not going to make you cry. I was teetering on whether
I
was teetering on whether I should do that or not. But
Thank you.
Anyhow, I just felt like we should recognize it. That's all. And going to a happier note. Light of Foxborough was fabulous. So Heather Harding had reached out and asked if I would volunteer for the hayride. And so, she said, and you can bring Ryan too, and I said, no, we would love to. And then she said, Deb's going to be there too. So the three of us with Heather's help, me and that. And so unfortunately, we were kind of like on that side of the commons. We didn't really, I did take a walk. I heard that the fudge lady was there, so I said, I'm going to take a little walk down and get some fudge, because I haven't had, she hasn't been around in a while. So I did get to the other side, and Allie's Cookies, and I didn't see Michelle, but I saw Lauren when I walked down Manning. So everybody, there was all, positive comments. It seemed like everybody had such a great time, and that event has grown from when I was on Friends of Foxborough Recreation, and Deb was like, can you get us some hot chocolate? And we went, and so we would go to multiple Dunks to make sure. The first year we thought we had I don't know how much hot chocolate, we thought it'd be fine, and we ran out. So plus it was a cold night. So we started hitting multiples, and then the JCs were so that event started out, even though it went on for many, many years, but the event started out as just then as it progressed to cookies and hot chocolate, or cider one year. Was there cider one year?
There's been all sorts of
yeah,
variations.
But to what it has become,
There's just no more crawling under the tree to turn it on.
No, there we go.
That's the best.
I know. As Lauren came over and she said to Deb, we just have to hit a switch. And and Deb's like, oh my God, yeah. We were and praying that the tree would light, So anyhow, it was a great event. I'm sure. Dennis, I remember I saw you last year. Did you make it up or?
No, I had company the whole.
Okay. You with the kids or anything?
Yeah, really.
Okay, so yeah, it was such a great event, and I think it's as we were talking earlier about and what Senator Paul Feeney was saying about a special community. It was definitely a night that showed what a special community is, and so anyhow, it was a great night.
And I just can't let it go. I mean, Kristen stepped up, our new rec director.
I called her Lauren, I'm so sorry.
No,
I said Lauren.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah.
Lauren, because she was there too,
Nope.
but Kristen
Nope, I
stepped
meant
up,
Kristen.
and, Mark, obviously, in the behind the
Yep.
scenes. And then the vendor, I saw poor Allie, I waited in line for cookies, and she was serving cookies, taking people's payments, and then making hot chocolate because they had run out of hot chocolate. So it was great. And then I can't not mention DPW. I mean, those trucks being where they were, they took care of the community, the police and fire. So it was just a team effort. I mean, Bethany, I went to Bethany and got cider and soup. And it just really was a community, seeing Shoveltown, seeing everybody. It's magical.
Yeah.
And I think every year it gets better. So.
It was great. Anybody else have anything for the Selectmen's update? Okay. On to action items.
Wait a minute. You're still on the select board?
Yep.
Not to kick off a long discussion, but I'm curious about whether we're going to take any position with what's going on with Norwood Hospital in the state. And we're getting these letters from the town manager of Norwood, and for some reason, the state is slow walking this whole project. It does have implications for our community, has implications for our public safety department, has implications for healthcare in our community in terms of choices people have, if they really need to go to a local hospital. What are the choices right now? Norwood was a very good choice. when it was available. And there are these weekly updates that the town manager is providing. And I'm just wondering if we have any position on that, or if we have anyone assigned to at least be an interface.
I know Chief Kelleher has been following it closely, but I certainly think we could put together a letter from the town of Foxborough further, saying to the governor, and to the state, saying we need this. I know it's, as you all know, it's been a huge burden on the community and our public safety to have to drive to Boston, or, Sturdy's overwhelmed. So I think we strongly, I know Chief Kelleher strongly supports the reopening, and I think he and I could write up a letter and from this board and from the town,
Right.
just encouraging them to open it. And
Right.
it's not going well, obviously, but the more the voices, the better. So we absolutely could put something. I know Chief Kelleher has been closely following this.
Right.
Yeah, good point, Dennis.
Yeah, I mean, with the board's support, I could plug into these calls just to get direct information. We've all been invited,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, we've all gotten letters.
so.
Well, something, that is your expertise.
That's right.
So the fact that you just mentioned that, for me, I would love for you to hop on
Sure.
and then be able to come back to the board, and, because you'll
Right.
know exactly the nuts and
Right.
bolts, for sure.
Right. And I know how it affects our pre-hospital care system as well, so.
Yeah, no,
We
Dennis,
we definitely have a stake in
Yeah.
the outcome there.
that would be much
And I
appreciated.
know the players who are involved too, so.
And you can tell it to us in English.
Yeah, oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, that'd be great, Dennis. Thank you for that
Thank you,
offer.
Dennis.
Sure.
Action items?
Ready? Action.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Oh. Motion to approve a petition for joint or identical pole locations by Massachusetts Electric Company, DBA National Grid, and Verizon New England, Inc. to install one joint-owned pole on 51 Walnut Street, pole 19-5, approximately 90 feet northwest of pole 20.
Second.
Under discussion, is this something new? I mean, that, for them to, I think it's a great idea. Is this something that's been, that in newer, like, developments and stuff, where they get together and just put up one pole to do this? Do we know? I'm just curious. I was like, as I was reading it all, I was like, oh my God, this is great. I didn't know if it's,
It is something that they do when it is convenient. And then, so we had a public hearing or 2 Tuesdays ago, and Lance is their representative with our town engineer, and unfortunately, no one did show up, but we just reviewed the petition, and Lance has his recommendation attached.
yeah, great. Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept the donation from Nancy Bach in memory of Peggy Shea to the Foxborough Fire Department in the amount of $250.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Approve a new hackney license for Mutaro Seidi with an expiration date of December 31st, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
wait a second.
Oh, any discussion?
Expiration date in 2000, that's like by the end of the month.
Right, so this will carry him until then, but
And then
after if this is approved, I will work with him on the renewal process.
For a
It's-
full
yeah.
year. Okay. I was going to say.
Good catch, none of us caught it. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve Select Board meeting minutes from November 18th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn open session.
I think you need
To enter, and we won't reopen.
to, yeah, we
Oh, I
will.
don't have.
To mention it as part of the motion?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so just to let everyone know, we will be entering into executive session from regular session.
And
Is
we
that all?
don't plan to come back.
Oh,
other
yeah,
than to
oh, yeah,
close.
that's, yeah. And that's it, we're done for the night after that.
Second.
Second. All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Night, everybody. Oh, did you turn us off? One quick thing, just so everyone knows, we have, just moving forward, we have a meeting on the 17th, and then just to let people know, then there's, over the holidays, we have 3 weeks, and then we come back, I think it's the 6th or 7th, I think, of January. Anyhow, it's on the website, but just to let people know, I think
skipping a
our
week.
next meeting after the next one would have landed us on the 31st. 7th, okay. All right. Now we can adjourn. Good night, everybody.